Something has to be done about racism, ladies and gentlemen, because, I'm a Liverpool fan, and this week we lost to Real Madrid, and we'd seen Trent Alexander-Arnold and Naby Keita come in for some racism. We've seen it with other clubs' players as well recently, and it's something that we just have to make a stand as football fans and stamp out of the sport. And not just out of the sport, out of society. There's no place for it. There's no need for it. None of us want it. You tell a player they're shit because they're shit, fair enough. But you don't judge somebody or hate on somebody because the colour of their skin, their sexual orientation, their race, their religion. You judge people on the strength of their character. And look, if you want to critique a footballer's ability, that's your job as a fan. That's your right as a fan. But don't be at them. Don't be using racism to disguise your disgusting behaviour. You're not a football fan if that's the way you act. We don't want you in our sport. We don't want you representing our clubs, our countries, or our societies. We want to be an inclusive sport that loves and fosters belief in everybody and brings people together, unites people, and spreads the positive word about the game. That's what football is about. It's not about these idiots hiding behind keyboards, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to get a reaction, abusing these players. What you'll see happen is the players that we love and adore so much, the players that give themselves and us so much of themselves in social media, give us a little insight into their lives, a little peek behind the scenes, gives us a chance to interact. That'll be taken away. And all because of these absolute idiots, these Neanderthals that are wrecking our sport and ruining our societies. It needs to be stamped out. And Jordan Henderson has handed over his social media accounts to a charity to try and help remove this from society. Marcus Rashford has done great work as well. Lots of other players, Raheem Sterling, many players around the world have done amazing work on this. And I am ashamed that in 2021, our sport, the sport that we all love, has to deal with this bullshit. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is not what any of us want in our sport. You want to judge a player on their performance, as I said, have at it. That's your right as a fan. But you will never, ever have the right to judge anybody because of their skin colour, their ethnicity, their religion, where they come from, who they love. That's none of your fucking business. Your job as a football fan is to talk about the performances on the pitch, and that's it. After that, take it as a privilege, not a right, that they give us an insight into their lives and their behind the scenes and their families, because it is a privilege. Because I remember growing up reading Shoot magazine and all those type of things, and they were the only little glimpses we got, or an interview on Match of the Day. These days we've been spoiled to get an insight into their lives. It's given us stuff to aspire to. It's been used to do creative and positive things. The work Rashford has done, feeding hungry school kids, absolutely amazing. They don't deserve this. Nobody deserves it. So it is something we need to get out of our sport. And it's something that I'm really passionate about as well. Because on top of that, it affects people's mental health. These people, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. When people say things about you, to you, that you already are aware of yourself, or that, people point out flaws in yourself that you already feel, it doesn't help anybody. It helps nobody, and it doesn't do any good. I'm sorry for my little rant, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that in this day and age we're still having to put up with this shit. I mean, we should embrace multiculturalism because it gives us new insights, it gives us new music, it gives us new food, it gives us new cultural things to learn from, it gives us new understanding of people, and we all have a lot more that brings us together than divides us. We're all more similar than we think, so don't be afraid of different people. Embrace it, and embrace people coming into your country, and embrace people that you haven't seen before, and you might learn something fun. You might find a new recipe that you like, or you might find some new type of music that you love, but judge people on the strength of their character, as I always say, not on their religion or their race or their sexual orientation or anything like that. I mean, this is going to be a bit crude now, but my rule is basically, if somebody's a cunt, I'm going to call them a cunt because they're in that way, not because of anything else about them, but because I don't like their personality. And that's all of our rights as human beings. But yeah, sorry about a bit of a rant there, but